One of the main reasons that you're afraid of being seen as a creative or artist is because you've spent the majority of your life being externally focused. If you grew up as a hypervigilant child, it is like you learned to consistently live outside of your body. That is where you learned how to survive. It was by determining, right, what are people feeling? Who do they need me to be? What do I need to solve for them? What do I need to fix or change about myself so that they receive me in a way that's going to secure my safety and survival? So it's like being yourself is actually a skill you were never taught to develop. You were always taught to reverse engineer who you thought the world needed you to be, to fix certain things, to constantly mask and shift and change things about yourself so that you were then safe to take up space. So this is why when you get an idea for something that you want to create, maybe that's a piece of artwork, a piece of music, you want to create and launch a new offer or content series, you are almost then projecting outside of yourself to try and determine how this thing needs to be created, who you need to be in order to create it, in order for it to be good enough for other people. Now, when you think about being seen by people who you cannot read feedback from, i.e. the internet, i.e. people that land and come across your work, that is a lot of variables that you are not in control of. And that feeling of not being in control is actually the thing that's triggering that fear of being seen. Because controlling how people perceive you is the way you learn to feel safe. And one of the hardest pills to swallow is that the best creatives, artists in the world are the ones who have built safety in being out of control, who have switched their internal motivation and focus from what do I need to create for other people to what do I want to create. You do not have a creativity or discipline issue. You are just operating and trying to create from an old survival identity that required you to shift who you are consistently in order to please the room. One of the most healing experiences for you and skills you can develop is to start prioritizing your own emotional fulfillment and recognizing that is far more liberating, far more fulfilling, actually feels far more safer than trying to please what I call this invisible audience, who you automatically assume that you have to be a different person for in order for them to like and approve of you and therefore feel safe. So if that resonated, hi, I'm Meg and I help ambitious female artists, creatives, dreamers like yourself how to make it safe to be seen by changing the experience of how safe it feels to be yourself. So if this video felt like it hit a little bit too close to home, you can head to the link in my bio to register for my upcoming masterclass all around the fear of not being enough, or to book your one-to-one session or inquire about 6-week mentorship.